was called in the Soviet era the Komsomolists Park, because like Komsomolists, I guess you know, it's like the organization of young communists. They dug a lake, and around the lake they built this park, and the Rotonda is part of that park. And there are some steps that go down and connect the lake with the Rotonda. Yeah, here are the steps. And actually, here is like, after, in the 70s, the Rotonda was a very active place. It was one of the central places in Chisinau, where like people were gathering, were just socializing, they were organizing weddings. That was, and that place had a very nice and rich cultural life. After that, the municipality built another entrance in the park, and Rotonda was kind of neglected and it lost its central status in a way. And after after the collapse of the Soviet Union, it started to degrade. And you see, like, this is the situation of the steps, and in the middle there were some fountains. Like you can see in some old videos, like that was the usual. If a Moldovan singer would record a video clip, this would be the preferred, like the most used scene. So the fountain didn't work and still don't work, like already for 20 years or something. And there was like this talk in the city that this space is degrading and we should do something about it. And there were like the usual complaint, like let the city do something about it, and the city didn't want to do something, and like let someone from somewhere do something about it, and okay, nobody did it. And at the end, like, I guess it was in a sense a tipping point, to use this expression. Like one girl from Greece, like she's a Moldovan, a Russian-speaking Moldovan, but now is living in Greece and is working there. Like said somewhere on Facebook, since we're mentioning a lot of times Facebook, she said like, we can do it ourselves. Like we don't have to wait for the city hall or for whatever, the state, or I don't know, like a corporation or some big business to do. We can try at least to restore this Rotonda to its original situation. So there was a call, let's first clean the place, and that call was answered, and these are pictures from the first, we called it Subotnik, and there was a huge participation, like the event was publicized, and you can see a guy in red coat. I'm not sure if there was also political presence, since like it was like a huge event, and there was some representatives from one political parties that showed only one time, and after that they disappeared. They thought that that could be a huge stage to launch something, or that could be a movement that they could head, and after that they could lead it to somewhere. It didn't work, so that was the first picnic. After that, they did another one, and it was like an avalanche. Like the idea started, and after that, like the activist community thought that it's not enough to just clean the place. Let's try to do something about how it looks like, and maybe to add some life to it. So this is one of the actions. Like this is the wall of the American embassy, because it's the fence of the American embassy. They allowed the activists to kind of clean the fence. Although I'm not sure. Like this is graffiti. It's also art. So here we have like the confrontation between two kind of types of cultures. You have the culture of graffiti, a lot of messages, most of them political, but also I love you, Maria, be with me, or something like that. And you have like this community that like whitened the wall and did some pictures from scratch. So they restored the place in the sense they painted it. They painted the Rotonda in white, and after that they started to add some life to it, like to organize concerts. And at one point, even the presidential orchestra participated in that concert. That was last year, and this year they have had a series of events also organized. They're like a jazz concert. They're like more the I don't know, the conventional culture, like jazz and classic music, orchestras, fanfares. This entire movement is somehow different from the others. Like I would call it proactive in a way. Like what is interesting about this movement is that it didn't wait for someone to be involved. They took things in their hands and they have tried to do it only with their efforts or only with what they have. And they succeeded to an extent. Their success is like more. They also succeeded to kind of to be constant. So they didn't organize just a once or like one-time action or something like that. They were constant, and they were constant and serious enough. And the city hall at one point decided also to be involved in this process, and they have promised like to restore the entire infrastructure with the steps, and now the project is in the city hall and they're discussing it. And I'm not sure and I don't know what is the current stage of that project, but here you see a small community of activists and just citizens that organized themselves, took a place and restored it, like gave it an image, and have tried not only to just restore it, to just like put it as it was, but have tried to inject some life in this place. And yeah, that's all.
I can give you an update.
Yeah.
Things. The wall is painted with.
Yeah, we have some pictures. Yeah.
But the newest addition is a wire, spiky wire on the top of it. And it's not the wall of the embassy, but it's the wall of the art academy. So I really don't know why the art academy would decide to separate itself from the community that they're trying to.
So this is
so this is.
This year, like painted some scenes from old Chisinau.
Yeah, now there is.
You see, there is a strong nostalgia component attached to it. It's like we can say even that this is the project of a big part of the Russian-speaking Moldovan community. So it's like I don't know. Is this nostalgia like let's restore Chisinau, that the one that I remember, the one that I remember from the 70s and 80s. So this is, yeah. And now, like, we can open the floor for questions. If you have any questions to any of our activists, please.
So I have a question.